Good stuff. Thanks so much, you guys. Well, border anger is now boiling over on the West Coast. Protesters swarming buses carrying dozens of illegal immigrants from Texas up to California. They weren't having it.
USA! USA! Go home! Go home!
Boy, that's something, right? The illegals, just a fraction of the thousands that have been streaming across the border. And then they put everyone on buses to get them away from these totally overwhelmed facilities at the border, and they send them to other spots in the country, this one in California. What a situation this is. Good morning, everybody. I'm Martha McCallum here in America's Newsroom.
And good morning, Martha, and good morning, everyone. I'm Eric Shawn in for Bill Hemmer this morning. Residents in Marietta, California, well, they are fed up, refusing to allow any more illegals to be shipped over state lines, and they say dumped in their backyard.
We have enough issues here.
I'm sick and tired of seeing my tax dollars being wasted.
We're already a welfare state as it is. We don't need any more here.
William Lajeunesse live in Los Angeles with the details. So, William, this is quite a situation. What's going on?
Well, you know, the incident underscores how divided America is over illegal immigration and why this issue is so paralyzing politically. On one side, 100 people chanting "Go home," urging the administration to enforce the law, to deport those who came here illegally, and not to release them into Murrieta, a small town about 50 miles southeast of Los Angeles, into California or around the country. On the other, counter-protesters calling themselves the real Americans, labeling the others as inhumane. The standoff prompted these buses to turn back to San Diego. There, the men, women, and children will be processed, then reunited with mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles, and friends around the country. Statistically, up to 75% will remain in the U.S., either through an asylum hearing or failing to show up for their deportation hearings. Border agents see no end in sight.
As long as they keep coming in Texas, they're going to keep sending them to us, unless congressional or someone else steps in and stops it.
Basically, the feds have about 96 family beds for 43,000 immigrants coming from Central America. In 2011, Martha, the number of unaccompanied minors was 6,000, now expected more than 100,000 this year. Martha?
The president has proposed sending the children back on these buses to where they came from and reuniting them with their families there. What are the border officials saying about all this now, William?
Well, number one, you can't do that under the law, and I'll explain. Number one, the border agents say they are overwhelmed. Up to 40% of Border Patrol agents are not patrolling the border. They're changing diapers and doing paperwork. 60 to 120 ICE agents are on airplanes daily escorting illegal immigrants to different cities. Homeland Security claims their hands are tied. Under the 2008 Trafficking Victims Protection Law, it requires that these unaccompanied minors not be deported, to act in their best interest. While the president claims this surge is being driven by violence in Central America, that is not supported by interviews. The children say they're coming to see their relatives. Adults recite a script using words like credible fear as they jump into these Border Patrol vans. Surveys in Central America show feelings of insecurity are actually declining. And there's nothing specifically in the Senate immigration reform bill that will stop this problem. The last thing I'll say, Martha, the agents say the smugglers are making a ton of money, $5,000 to $8,000 per individual, whereas they just have to deliver them to the border and then they're, quote, arrested. Whereas the Mexican illegal immigrants, they actually have to deliver them to cities like Phoenix, Tucson, or Chicago. So they're making a lot of money. Back to you.
I don't know how we get out of this one. This is a bad situation. William, thank you very much. See you next time.
You bet.
Well, meanwhile, the White House is being pressed big time on this very contentious issue. Press Secretary Josh Earnest says it shows it's time for immigration reform.
The goal here is not delay. The goal here is a quick but thorough review of the authorities that are available to the president. And I think that upon completion of that review, you can anticipate that quick action will be taken.
So what kind of authorities really are available to the president to try and end this crisis on the border? We'll ask Chief White House Correspondent Ed Henry a little later on in our newscast, and it really is unbelievable.
And the president said he wanted to put together a team of people to take the course of this summer to advise him on what he's able to do as president with executive powers in this situation. Meanwhile, you've got hundreds of people on buses coming across this border and back into other states. It's an untenable situation, and it may take some action before the end of the summer. That's for sure.
Sleeping on the floor.
Awful.
Amazing.
What a bad situation all around.